If your website gets visitors, but you're getting barely any orders through it, then I think that this podcast episode is going to be very helpful to you. We absolutely know the frustration of driving traffic to a website and then wondering why you're just not getting those sales. And I think sometimes people don't really understand the ins and outs of how to do this. If they run some Facebook ads and they don't get sales, they might think that those ads aren't working. But actually, there's quite a lot behind the scenes there. So that's what we're going to talk about. This is episode 26 of the Together We Grow podcast. My name's Paul Main.
And I'm Tamer.
And welcome along today. This is the podcast where we teach people how to start, grow, scale their home fragrance business based on years of experience of doing it ourselves. And we do that through the Home Fragrance Academy, which is our new business after selling our home fragrance businesses. And yeah, we work like wonderful people just like you listening to this now. And we help you overcome all of those obstacles that you face, don't we?
We certainly do. We love to help small businesses, and seeing them growing and succeeding just fills us with so much happiness, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah. So, okay, episode 26. This is all about website traffic and converting them into sales. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. I think this will be a really useful episode, actually, because like you said in the intro, a lot of people just assume they can put some Facebook ads on and everything will work out fine and they'll get their orders. But it's not always as simple as that, is it?
No, not at all. In fact, it's very rarely as simple as that. There's a lot to it. Because from a small business owner, home fragrance business owner, I absolutely get it. You're very good at making the products and you can take some photos and videos and things and you post them on Instagram. You might try your hand at boosting some posts on Facebook, which is never recommended, by the way, or running some actual ads as well. And you're just not getting the sales through your website. That can be incredibly frustrating because you're not an experienced marketer, most likely. You weren't, were you, when we first started?
Not at all. I had no idea whatsoever. I could make the product, but that was it.
Yeah. So you're not really going to know where to look, which is totally understandable, So that's kind of what I want to talk about, I think, in this episode, because there will be people listening to this who are good at getting that attention and building an audience and getting some engagement and getting visitors to the website, but then just not converting those into sales. So there's a few things there, of course. Firstly, I'll do this little pitch at the beginning here. I normally do it at the end, but I'll do it at the beginning.
Mix it up a bit.
Yeah. So a lot of this ties into a product we have on the Home Fragrance Academy website, which is called the Sales Rescue Kit. And if you're really struggling with getting sales, you're launched, but just you can't seem to get sales, then this is a kit that will absolutely help you achieve that. It consists of 2 courses. There's video lessons in there. There's templates. There's guides, checklists. There's loads of stuff in there that will absolutely help you find out where the bottlenecks are in your business, how to overcome them, and actually give you lots of strategies on how to get sales consistently and quickly as well. We've got quite a few people using that now and they're getting some good results, aren't they?
We have. I've had some fantastic feedback from the Sales Rescue Kit so far. And it's just really good to see these businesses that have bought it, implementing the strategies involved in it, and they're making massive improvements in their business.
Yeah, absolutely. So head over to homefragrance.academy and you'll see it on there. But anyway, let's get back to this, shall we? So there's a couple of different things here that we're going to do. Firstly, we're going to talk about the 3 sort of broken funnels, if you like, the 3 areas of the business which really need, which are probably letting you down with regards to getting sales through the website. And then we're going to talk about how to fix them. So the first thing to think about is actually the offer itself that you're presenting to people, isn't it?
Yeah. It needs to be a no-brainer, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's also a bit more than that as well. It's not just, when we say offer, it's not necessarily a discount or a deal or anything like that, although that majority is what it is. It's actually what you are presenting to the visitor, the person in front of you, encouraging them to buy from you. Okay, that you're offering them something, yeah, in exchange for money, of course. So it could be that the product itself isn't desirable enough. This is quite subjective at times, but it could be that you have too many options and there's not really a standout USP, unique selling proposition, that actually makes those people viewing your candles and your wax masks, your home fragrance products, think, actually, this is the company I want to buy from, as opposed to the thousands of others out there.
Yep.
So this is why we talk about finding yourself a niche a lot. And it's so important as well, because think about it. Are you just another candle brand that targets absolutely everyone? Or are you the candle brand for book lovers? Are you are you targeting self-care obsessed women over the age of 40? You see what I mean? That's the niche examples that you really need to be focusing on, because then you create that no-brainer offer, that buy one get one free, that 3 for the price of 2, whatever it is, which will encourage those people to actually place an order.
It makes your marketing easier, doesn't it, if you're niched down, because you know who you're targeting, which makes the advertising easier, but also your messaging as well, because you know the exact thing to say, because you've researched your audience, you know the things that they're looking for, you know their pain points, so you can hit them.
Precisely that. It's put yourself in their position as well. Think about something that you absolutely love. Let's just use book lovers as an example. Books. You love reading books. And also you love your home smelling lovely. Who doesn't? Yeah.
Of course.
So you're scrolling through Facebook and all of a sudden you come across these candles which are themed around your favorite book. You're going to instantly be like, wow, okay, that's interesting.
It's going to stop you scrolling.
Yeah, I can see this is Harry Potter themed without crossing any trademark infringements there, but you can see it's Harry Potter themed. You love Harry Potter, you love home fragrance. Oh, crikey, it's buy one, get one free in these as well. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give those a go.
That's a no-brainer I would go for.
Exactly, and that's what you have to do. And the way you do that, you know that this person will like Harry Potter because Facebook knows that, because they are tagging themselves in at Harry Potter Land or wherever it's called down in Watford. They are liking all the Harry Potter stuff they see. So Facebook knows that that person likes Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you then tie it in with the demographic of people that typically buys this type of product, 25 to 55, that kind of age, women. And then there you go. There's a niche audience. And that's the thing. And we see too often people, and it's as understandable, of course, people want to start home fragrance businesses. They see lots of other companies doing just, the generic snap bars in the little glassine bags with a label over the top in all your normal fragrances. And they follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that because it's easy, it's quick, and you don't really know any different, which is perfectly fine. But to really stand out and actually get these sales through your website, which is what we're talking about today, niching down and creating a no-brainer offer for those first-time customers is going to be vital.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also important to say that when we first started out in the home fragrance industry was 7 years ago now, wasn't it? So there wasn't as much competition as there is now.
Yeah.
So niching down wasn't a necessity. Whereas now there's so much more competition out there that you have to niche down to stand out. So it's important to make sure you do that to give yourself and your business the best chance possible.
Exactly, yeah. And, we know this works well because we started WaxKind, didn't we?
We did.
In 2023. And that was targeting a niche audience. And that really did work. Once you've got that brand and you understand who you're targeting and then you target them, it really does work well. So, yeah, that's absolutely right. The times have changed. So you just have to be smarter with it. For us, we were more generic back then because we didn't really know any different. And it was working for us at the time. But as time develops, strategies change, competitors pick up. So you have to do different things. You have to learn from that. And they're the companies that do well are the ones that really do accelerate past the competitors and find their angle and go all in on it.
The ones that innovate.
So that's the first thing there is the actual product, what you're offering and who you're offering it to. Okay, that's vital. Otherwise, people will just ignore the ad or they'll click on it, go to your landing page and see that you are just generic like everybody else, and then probably continue just using the same people they're using now. And then, of course, point 2 here is your website. it could be a bad website. Okay. And again, I understand this as well. You're going to be building the website yourself. Totally understand when you want to keep it low cost, so you might use something like Wix and things like that. But there's numerous things you can do here, and you have to think about. So the biggest thing that stops people from buying on a website is if the website loads very slowly.
Yeah.
And if you're not really into marketing or don't really understand websites and things like that, then you're not going to know this. But image sizes, okay? Often people will take a photo of a product, upload it to the website. That's going to be a massive file size. You need to really trim this down to like 200 kilobytes maximum for load speed. There's all these different things that you need to think about. And I would highly, highly recommend, it does cost a bit more, but get your website. If you're built it on Wix or something like that, I would highly recommend getting it across to Shopify. And don't do too much customization. Use one of their free themes, okay? Because it's going to look simple and bland, but that's what you want. Not necessarily looking bland, but you can make that come alive with your brand story, your imagery, your products, all of this kind of stuff. But don't go for, just you just want like a nice white background and let your products do the talking and all that kind of stuff. Shopify, they are an e-commerce platform. They are the biggest one out there. They know what they're doing. They know how to convert people. And a lot of people now are used to shopping on Shopify websites. They know how they work. So get yourself over there, use one of their free themes, and that will significantly help. Because when someone does click through to your website, this is now your point to try and convert them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if it's horrible, if it doesn't look great, if it's unclear what they need to click on next, if there's too many buttons dotted about or not enough buttons dotted about, slow to load, confusing navigation, they're just going to bounce.
They certainly are, because they've already taken that risk going to your website in the first place. But if they can't work out where to go from there or what to do, or like you say, if it's really slow to load, their time is precious. So why are they going to bother trying to work out how to get through to your website or trying to let that load and everything when they've got other things to do, when they just want to impulse buy?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, when you start getting repeat customers, they all get used to your website. They'll know how it works, and they'll just keep coming back and buying, won't they? And we found that all the time.
Yeah.
But you need to fuel that funnel of repeat customers by dropping in lots of brand new customers. And it's those brand new ones that you're offering this no-brainer offer to in your niche target market. They land on your website, super clear, super simple, they buy. You've got them then, and then you can remarket to them. And on the website as well, on the landing page, we talk about this kind of stuff a lot, don't we?
We do.
So I'm going to test you now.
Oh, okay.
What should we do with the add to cart button?
It should be at the top, the full description, so you can see it as soon as you land on the page, and it should be bright, bold, and green.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless of your brand colours.
Exactly. It should be. The add to cart button needs to be before the scroll. So when someone lands on your product page, add to cart, or very, very quickly after the scroll, because sometimes the image takes up. It needs to be at the top part.
It needs to be up as high as you can get it.
Yeah. And you want that, it needs to stand out. It will look beautiful if it's tied in with the rest of your brand, but then it will tie in with the rest of your brand. It's the action button. That's the most important button on that page. We did it for Cozy Aromas. Bright green, big, bold, add to cart. People know what they're doing then. They know what you want them to do.
And that wasn't a colour that fit in with our brand either, was it? The bright, bold green.
That's right. And that's the point. Green's an action colour, isn't it? It's a positive action colour. So that's what we would do. And that's what we did. That's what we do now on the Home Fragrance Academy. Our brand does not have green in it. But you go on our website, have a look. All of the action buttons are all green and bold.
Yep.
Because
they're the bits that you need to take action with.
Yeah.
They're the bits that you need to see as a customer.
Yeah. And what else do we need to have on the product page?
You need to have the shipping information. So how long it will take to ship, what payment methods are accepted as well. And
reviews.
Yeah.
And a really enticing product description as well. Not a product description that says, this is lavender scented. Boring, exactly. Instead, make them feel like they really want it, make it hit like a pain point. Struggling to relax in the evenings after a long day at work. This beautiful scent infused with lavender and chamomile will help you unwind, blah, 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 blah. That's the concept.
Fit it in with your brand story if you can, if there's something that you can fit into there as well. And also don't forget on your each product listing, you need to have your CLP information available as well at point of
Yes,
sale.
you do. Very good point. Yeah. And another point on this website, a little thing for you to do. If you're a little bit concerned about this and you're not sure if your website's in a position where it's classed as good or bad, I know that can be quite subjective, but there is some data behind that as well. Ask some strangers to go through your website, give them a challenge, say, I want you to buy this lavender and chamomile wax melt. Don't tell them where it is or anything like that. Don't tell them to buy it, but add it to the cart. Ask 3 strangers to do it. If you're in our Facebook group, the Home Fragrance Academy community, put a post in there just asking people, view the website, blah, 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 and give you honest feedback. And they will. And that's very constructive and very good. These are people that do not know you or your brand, so they're looking at it cold, just like a cold customer would, okay?
And that's important because then you can identify the hang-ups and the issues and the things that might be a bit clunky that you could change and just make better and improve.
Yeah, precisely. Exactly that. Okay, so within this first section, the 3 types of broken funnels. The first one is the bad offer that we've spoken about. Second one is the bad website. The third one is bad follow-up and 0 retention.
One thing back on the website there,
Yeah?
you need to make sure that you're optimizing it for mobile.
Yes, you do. Oh yeah, of course, that's a biggie. That's the thing, that's a good point. When you're building your website, you are going to be building it on a desktop computer. That's typically how you would do it, yeah? But always have it in mobile mode. 95% of all your traffic on your website will come from mobiles. That's how people shop. That's how people will browse things. So make sure it is optimized on your mobile first. If that compromises the desktop a little bit, that's okay. But if you're using Shopify, it's all mobile first anyway. But that's a really good point, yeah. So next up is the bad follow-up, basically. So if you've got a typical conversion rate on an e-commerce website, all of your visitors that come to it, 2 to 3% of them will buy from you. So if you've got 100 visitors coming a month, you're going to get 2 or 3 orders a month based on normal statistics. When you start building up retention and things like that, that will increase when your existing customers come and buy from you again. But what happens to that other 90% of traffic to your website? What are you doing to try and get those to come back?
You've got to retarget them, don't you?
Precisely, yeah, exactly. So you want to capture that person, so capture their email address. So have a pop-up on the website which entices them to leave their email address, but give them something more valuable than 10, 15, 20% off their order. Give them a free product when they place their first order. Something like that, something different that stands out because these discounts are everywhere. We did a podcast on this a couple of weeks ago, I think, didn't we?
We did, yes. So make sure you pop back and listen to that.
Yeah. So that's a good way. You will capture some from there. But then you can also run retargeting adverts on Facebook. So instead of just running cold ads to get new people in, you run retargeting ads. And this is where you're targeting people that have engaged with your brand. They might comment or engage with you on socials, or they've visited your website but they haven't purchased. So then you retarget them with a no-brainer offer to entice them coming back. Because a lot of people might be on the train, they might be in a waiting room somewhere, looking at your website, close it down because their appointment has just been called, and then they forget about you. So they want to be retargeted later.
That's the thing, you've got to remember that people have got really busy lives and sometimes they get distracted and have to dash off to do something.
Yeah.
But then you need to remind them that you're there, that, oh, hang on, that's the brand I was trying to remember what it was called, because chances are they're not going to remember the name of your brand.
Yep.
You have to put it back in front of them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something you should think about there as well. Okay, so we've covered the type of broken funnels there, the bad offer, bad website, and like the bad follow-up there. And now let's go into a bit more detail about how to actually fix these things. Yeah. So you want to clarify the offer and the audience. Okay. We have touched on this, but you want to position your products to people like a solution or a gift idea. They are the things that really encourage impulse buys, not just like a pretty thing to have. Now, in home fragrance, that is a little bit more tricky, but if you can hit those points, then you'll do very well. So gifting is quite straightforward.
Gifting is straightforward, but also you could hit pain points within your niche anyway. But another idea is you've got people that struggle to sleep, have insomnia and things like that, and you've created a load of products that are designed to help with that, to help relax you. So you can create adverts and target marketing to be done early hours of the morning when people are up, frustrated that they can't sleep, scrolling through their phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we tested this for a while, didn't we?
We did,
and it was okay. We created it was like
It's a lavender farm.
Yeah, lavender farm. So it's all about sleep and relaxation.
Yeah.
And we ran it to people early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, that worked. That worked quite well, actually, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, that was pretty good. So that's a good example of things you can do there. I think that's it. It's like really just take that time to sit down with a pen and paper and like think about who your audience is, who you want them to be, and what pain points they might have or desires. Like when we say a gift idea, it doesn't necessarily mean a gift for other people. It could be a gift for yourself, because that's what a lot of our customers did. So it's hitting that desire point, like I said earlier on about the Harry Potter idea. That kind of thing, isn't it?
Along the self-care lines.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. I think these days the way it's changed is it's more than just make your home smell lovely.
Yeah.
That does work and can work, but I think there's so many people doing that it's going to push your cost per clicks up. It's going to reduce conversions because there's so many out there that do it. So if you can really start to nail down on specific pain points, desires, gift ideas, that kind of thing, solutions.
It's harder to stand out with that messaging, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have to niche down. And we see it, don't we? We work with a few people that are doing this, and they have a really clear brand. They have a really clear target audience, and they're picking up customers, and they're slowly growing their businesses. It works very well indeed, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Just got to follow the steps.
Precisely. Yeah. So, and for that niche audience as well, you really want to nail those product descriptions.
Definitely.
That's like I briefly mentioned earlier as well, is you want to have a scent description in there, but you want to make them feel something when they're reading it. Why should they buy it? How's it going to make them feel? How does it hit that pain point, that desire? That's all good stuff. And then, you've got the no-brainer offer for first-time customers. And then for existing customers coming back, we always like to have a bundle offer, but it was high value. So the way we had it was our no-brainer offer was about £20, and it was a buy one, get one free offer. And then we had a bundle, I think it was 8 for the price of 6.
8 for the price of 6.
Of our full-size wax melts. That worked out about £35. And it was over £30, so it's free shipping. And we had existing customers buy those all the time, didn't we?
Loads.
That was just a good way of them keeping their collection up or restocking products, their favorite fragrances and things like that. And it's just quite well, doesn't it?
You had your no-brainer offer, and then the people received that, and they absolutely loved your products, and you thought, oh, this is my favorite, and maybe choose 10 of them are their absolute favorites. And then when they go back to the website, they see this bundle offer. They think, oh, I'm going to get 8 of my favorites and top up on them.
That's it. And your offer, your bundle, whatever it is, should always be more expensive than the no-brainer offer, because your existing customers will happily spend more with you because they know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to now it's the website, isn't it? You want to make this website conversion ready. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's keeping it very, very simple on Shopify. Have a clear, they call it a hero image. It's the big image across the top of the homepage. Now, when you're driving traffic to your website, you always want to drive it to a specific offer page, but a lot of people will visit the homepage, and you want that to tell people clearly what you do and who you do it for, with a button through to your best thing that you want them to buy. Make sure those images are optimized, as I mentioned earlier. Make sure they're nice, bright, clear. You can edit them quite easily. There's free online tools that you can use to resize images. If you just search for an image resizer, there's plenty on there. Get that file size nice and low, and you'll find that it won't actually compromise quality so much. So without going into too much detail with it, if you take it on cameras and things like this, the resolution of that photo might be to 300 dpi, dots per inch, but websites are only 72 dpi. So even if you upload a 300 dpi one, it's only going to render as 72. So when you reduce that file size down to 72 dpi, the file is going to be smaller, but you're not going to lose quality on the website.
Yeah.
It will look the same. There you go. Yeah, nail all those. And you want to have like very few distractions on the site. We like to say keep the product range quite small, but just have on your menu, we see some people that have got like so many menu items. You want to keep it really short. Have a button for wax melts, candles, diffusers, room sprays. That's it, or whatever it is you sell, but just really simple. And then once they're on those pages, then they can filter by price. They can filter by things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just a few distractions, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm reviewing websites for other people, I look through their navigation and it's like, okay, so that's linked there, but that's also linked over there. That's linked over there as well. And it's just so confusing that it takes me about 15 minutes to work out the actual page I want to look at.
Yeah.
And as a customer, you're not going to do that.
No.
Because you're bored, you're fed up, you don't want to be looking through a website just hunting for something. You need to have it as simple and easy to follow as possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise you won't get that order.
That's it. And then you want to have like an obvious call to action, as we said, like the buy now button, add to cart, that kind of thing. But then you want to get some social proof on there. Get your reviews on there and testimonials, that kind of thing. You want to encourage people to leave a review on your website, of course. But what's actually even more powerful, these don't look very nice, but these are more powerful, is screenshots of posts that customers have put in your Facebook group or tagged you in or whatever, because they're real. They're real. They can't be seen as being fabricated or anything like that. They are real people talking about your products.
Yeah, people can identify them as like a Facebook post or an Instagram post. They can see that they're real and that they are a screenshot. So they become more trusted.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's kind of what you want to do. We're not going to get into too much more detail than that, really, on this podcast episode, because it's what we're talking about here is how to turn your traffic into buyers.
Yeah.
And we've covered there the bad offer, basically, because the visitors to your website might be people that are just not really interested at all. So the visitors that you do get to your website, you want to be highly relevant to what you're offering, so what you want to sell. So therefore, your niche audience needs to be defined. Your no-brainer offer needs to be specific to them. All of your messaging, everything needs to be specific to them, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And then it was the website, wasn't it?
Yeah. You got to make sure that it's easy to use, it's quick to load, it's got your add to cart button nice and high and bold, and it's just easy to convert that way, then, isn't it?
Yeah, mobile friendly and got reviews and social what's it called? Social proof. I lost my words there. Social proof and all that kind of stuff on there. Yeah, and the tip there was to get some strangers to go through the site for you. So go to our Facebook group and ask them there. People have done it before and it works well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's the follow-up, it's that retention strategy. You want these people to keep coming back time and time again. And you can do that with just really basic, with abandoned cart emails, retargeting them on Instagram, Facebook, as we mentioned earlier, having a freebie to get them to come into your email list. And when they do come into your email list, you're then they then put into an email flow where they get automated emails, which educates them on your brand, your business, what you stand for, your products, and then ultimately sells them after about a week or so.
That's something I find a lot of places don't do, is the email marketing, because I've purchased quite a few different things from some of our members, and there's only a few of them that I actually get email marketing from.
Yeah. It's a key thing. People think it doesn't work, and I think if the people that think it doesn't work are probably the people that are not doing it to its full potential. So they're probably the people that are sending out sales emails on a regular basis or every now and then, as opposed to building what I like to call an email ecosystem. Yeah, that's for another episode. In fact, we have an episode all about email marketing.
We do.
Again, that was a couple of weeks ago as well, I think, wasn't it? So head back and listen to that as well. So there we have it. That is some basic tips on probably why your traffic isn't converting and how to fix that.
That's a nice, simple episode to follow, and hopefully you'll be able to get lots of tips and advice there and look at it and get other people to look at your website and come up with some ideas of things that you need to change and implement.
Absolutely right. Yeah. I think we'll round that off then, shall we?
I think so. That's quite a nice ending. So thank you everybody for listening to this episode. Don't forget to head over to homefragrance.academy to see everything that we do.
Yeah, and leave us a review, however you're listening to this. You might be watching it on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of good stuff. Leave a review on Apple or Spotify. All that stuff, please.
Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll speak to you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.